We're back for the second segment of February 3rd Trips and Drops. Andy Serling, Eric Donovan.
Two more races to bring you. Let's start off with the fourth race from Sunday. We're looking at the 5-horse Nina's Spirit.
Yeah, this is a situation. Now, Sunday's card, and we'll talk about it more during the race, you had to be inside. And Ramon Dominguez is acutely aware of this. And there were a number of times, and this included, and these were heavy favorites, and he rides the winner in the Pink Silks. But Ramon knows, I need to get to the rail. And guess what? He ends up getting there very, very quickly. Now, the 5-horse Nina's Spirit, okay, he didn't want to use the speed early to rate. All right, he was going to be in the 2-path. That's fine. If you're going to rate back, you have to make your decision on how you're going to ride these two-turn races on the inner track, especially when it's biased, immediately. And you have to have a plan. This is a horse that never had a plan, because after sort of taking back a little, getting the 2-path, they couldn't wait to get out the 3-path and chasing 3 wide on a racetrack that every single race was dominated by horses that spent the majority of the time on the rail. This is suicide. You have no chance with this kind of trip. None. And I think it's amazing that Nina's Spirit even ran 3rd or 4th in this race.
Yeah, I would agree. Not to mention the fact that you're chasing a 2-to-5 shot in here in Awesome Bull, who looked much best on paper going into the race. You're just not going to find yourself at a good advantage point going here, especially now 3 wide around this turn as well. I think the problem came around the first turn when the jock should have just decided to either take a tuck and move to the inside, or just take back a little bit more. But this whole chasing 3 wide around both turns here, just not going to work out.
Yeah, you have no chance. And I thought Nina's Spirit hung in extremely well. I mean, really something else. The winner is the 6-horse with post 5 or 6. Nina's Spirit was 1 post inside of her. The 4-horse who was chasing 2 wide was 2 posts inside. Why are both of these horses chasing the lead on the outside in this track? It's fine on an even racetrack. You're riding at Belmont Park. It's a preferred trip. But on this inner track, especially in a day like Sunday, where the inside's so strong, you have to have a plan when you get in the gate. Now, Ramon Dominguez has a plan every single race, and that's one of the main reasons that he's dominating the jockey colony. He has a plan. He got this horse over the inside. This outside chasing doesn't work. In an even racetrack, I'm going to tell you something. That horse that won the race by something like 10 lengths, 7 lengths. Believe me, on an even racetrack, it would have been significantly closer. It wouldn't have been 5. It might have been a length.
Yeah, no, Ramon Dominguez goes out there every time knowing what he's doing, knowing where he has to be on the racetrack, and it shows pretty much in every ride that he's out there. And certainly Awesome Bull benefited from a perfect ride from Ramon.
Right. I mean, favorites or not, there's a sort of tendency to think, oh, he rides the favorites, so he wins a lot of races. There was a situation, I believe, in the 3rd race where he rode a favorite in a 4-horse field, an outside post for Todd Pletcher, where clearly Anel Serpa was on the speed inside of him. Ramon had the lead so fast, you blinked, you missed it. I don't know how that other horse didn't lead. He ended up chasing on the outside. Good luck to that. You have to have a plan coming out of the gate.
Let's go on to our second race of this segment, and we're going to take a look at race 6 from Sunday. Another race where you had 3 horses up on the front end chasing or dueling for the lead, I should say, vying for the lead. There's 3 of them, and then you had a couple of horses sitting back. Well, let's take a look at the 3 that were up on the front end here. The 3, Zarland is Zarland, also the 6, Lovely Promise, and we're not going to note the 8, Why Not See You, because it just finishes so far behind the rest of them. But on this kind of track where you had to be inside, 6 and 8 definitely up against it here.
No question about it. This is not a strong field, and the truth is, it's very likely if this group mixes up again, Eric and I will be picking the strangers that run against them. But I think it's important because this is an interesting dynamics race on a very interesting dynamics day. Once again, same day as the last race where you had the rail so good. I mean, Devil Shammai gets the greatest trip in the world. I mean, you're sorry if you like Devil Shammai, you didn't uncover some 20-to-1 shot. At 5-2, though, this was maybe pretty generous. Cece Lopez got it. He sent Zarland as Zarland. Now, the other 2 went, but I think Cece should be credited for being smart enough to go to the front and get the rail. The other guys went, it didn't work out. That's just the way it goes. He wasn't necessarily doing well. He certainly wasn't doing well if he was trying to rate and close. Can She Dance, who's sitting 5th, who ends up making a move for about a nanosecond, doesn't run at all. But I get, if a very, very weak field met up and the 2nd and 3rd horses chasing on the outside were in there, they'd be interesting.
Yeah, and if they met up again with the horses that are going to run 2nd and 3rd in this race, Thunder Reigns, who's the 4-horse toward the back, and the 7-horse Lady Valiant, who just made that move past Thunder Reigns there. If they met up against those 2 again in the same similar kind of race, I'd go with the horses that were up front on the front end here. Now we see Why Not See You drop back out of there. The other horses still up on the lead, but Devilish Am I working out this perfect trip. Can She Dance working out a perfect trip. And for what it's worth, Lady Valiant and Thunder Reigns also working out good trips, saving ground behind this pace, which for state-bred now owners and 2 lifetime claimers was extremely fast, under 24 or 48.
Yeah, no question about it. And, you know, even though Thunder Reigns is finishing out in the middle of the track and Lady Valiant's in the 3 path, Lady Valiant was in the 1.5 to 2 path, a lot of the backstretch turn around the rail. Thunder Reigns, a very good ride, saving ground and only angling out when they got into the stretch. These were horses that basically they benefited from dynamics and the bias. You're right. The second and third place finishers here, and I've done my share of losing on Thunder Reigns over the winter here and maybe even last year. I don't want them against anybody. I agree with you. I think the horses that were involved in chasing on the outside, I don't know how good the 8 horse is, but you know, they're the kind of horses, whether it's them or other horses, these are the kind of horses you want to look for in the future when you have a strongly biased day like this to try to cash a bet with, because they get a fair racetrack and get situations in their favor. These horses win or run second at very big prices.
Yeah, their form is going to be dirtied up as well because they were beaten so far in the stretch there, so you're going to get in a couple points higher than you would have if they had stayed on and finished up okay in the race.
Yeah, and this is how a bias can work for you as a player, and part of the things we try to talk about in the show. Okay, it's tough. You're trying to find horses with speed. You're betting the races. That's a whole different thing. But when you use those biased days for your handicapping in the future and you can find horses that have these impossible chasing trips, these are the kind of horses we said in the race before where the horse finished third, beaten about 8 lengths or so. These are the situations where a horse could run 10 lengths better if it got dynamics in its favor.
No, if not more.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it for this segment of Trips and Traps. We appreciate your viewership, and once again, we love those emails coming in.
Absolutely, we love to hear. We could use all the help we get. In fact, we need more help for this 3-day card, 2.5-day card. But we'll have a full show when we're back next week. Thanks for watching.